This video is brought to you by PlayTracker, the app that tracks your cross-platform game library, achievements, stats, and more. Join the Second Win Guild to earn a free game and potentially win a $250 gift card to the gaming platform of your choice. I've been covering gaming news for a long time now. There have been a lot of highs and plenty of lows during the 15 plus years I've been talking about games, but this Xbox reset has me feeling the most cynical I think I've ever felt about the industry. I'm sure most who follow gaming news feel similarly. Often, I feel like I'm not helping by covering this type of news. It can feel like we're just helping spread the misery around when there's really not a whole lot we can do to change it. If you vote with your wallet against the practices of companies like Microsoft, Sony, Ubisoft, or EA, it's not the executives that take the hit, it's the people who make the games instead. And the people who are making those games want you to keep supporting the art they are creating. When layoffs happen, they don't just stop working, they carry on and try to make the best games they can with the resources they have. But these days, it just doesn't seem like there's truly a reward waiting for them even if they succeed. I was reading an article on IGN about the layoffs and how they've impacted Bethesda, and the final quote on the piece from one of the workers hit like a truck. They were describing how they were apparently safe from the next massive round of layoffs that is coming later this year at Xbox, but then added, even if that's true, who's to say there's not another 1,600 next year after that? It's had the chilling effect of realizing you don't get to retire off your work at Xbox. Your time ends when you quit or are laid off. That's it. As much as companies like Microsoft, Sony, Ubisoft, or EA want to make endless amounts of cash, at the end of the day, video games are art. They require passion and endless amounts of dedication for people to make them. Never feeling like you're secure, never feeling like you'll be rewarded for your efforts, and knowing that at the end of your time, you're just another name on a spreadsheet. I don't know how you can make art that way. At the Bethesda office, a sign of respect for the workers that had been unceremoniously let go was placed in the common area of the studio. Apparently, almost immediately, HR, from what I can only assume was Microsoft, made the studio remove it. You can't even fucking show your respect and appreciation to people who put years of their lives into these studios without the corporate boots stomping on it. I'm currently playing the Doom: The Dark Ages Revelation expansion that just released. I'm loving it. It feels like a perfect mix of the gameplay from Dark Ages and Eternal. For $20, it's a damn meaty campaign too. Hugo Martin, the game director at id Software, made a passion-filled overview video of the DLC that was posted on the day of its release. Quite clearly pre-recorded because on release day, instead of celebrating with his team, he was most likely on the Zoom call with studio head Marty Stratton, who was choked up having to tell his team about the layoffs that have reportedly gutted their studio. Most people playing the DLC will have no idea that this is going on with the studio that just made something they enjoyed. The only way they'll find out in the future is if they no longer see any Doom games coming out, or if the game they eventually get is much different from what they expect, because the people who made the game they liked are no longer part of the studio. As someone who covers games though, and most likely all of you who are tuned into gaming news on a weekly basis, it's heartbreaking. Knowing this is going on is souring the experience for me as I play through the DLC, along with the fact that there's a big possibility that we might never get another Doom game from this team that just made 3 excellent titles in a row. All of this is happening while Xbox puts out a statement from CEO Ashish Sharma that talks about how Doom is one of their key franchises moving forward. It's just so callous and angering to read statement after statement after statement of complete and utter bullshit from the people in charge. And on the other side, you have story after story coming out from the people at these studios who have no idea what to do because Xbox is saying they want more of these games and then are turning around and firing the people who are there to make them. Based on accounts from people who worked at studios like id Software, there seems to be no rhyme or reason for who was laid off. I've started calling it spreadsheet culling, because if you look at the list of who was let go, it just seems like someone started at the top of the sheet where it said senior, and started moving down from there to hit whatever studio budget target they were going for. The feeling of cynicism I get from influencers, and even people in the gaming press, lamenting layoffs, chiding Xbox leadership, and in the very next breath being excited about a report that Obsidian is now working on a Fallout game, makes me want to throw myself out a fucking window. Obsidian is going to work on Fallout. Okay, great. Then why did 25% of the studio need to be let go to make that happen all of a sudden? Is getting rid of talent going to help make a better game? Is it going to help get the game out faster? The news coming out now feels like a distraction because it is. Forget about the people we just laid off, you're getting what you want. Oh, and Josh Sawyer is heading it up, just like he dreamed of. Bad news can be quickly moved on from as long as there's something new to be excited about. And that's why you can't look away and not talk about this stuff. If you let them, these companies will completely dehumanize the act of making these games. It's hard to feel anything but cynicism right now for the games industry as a whole, even though we have more good games coming out than we know what to do with. And I'm not a romanticist about the business of games either. Most games aren't going to succeed, and studios that do make good games are going to shut down more and more often because there are just too many good games to go around. It's also important to remember that so many studios expanded beyond their means because of COVID-era funding boosts that have largely dried up now. So downsizing of studios and publishers is to be expected in some cases to account for the current realities of business. That's just the reality of the situation the industry is in right now, and nobody is immune to it. It's always sad to see a good studio go out of business or have to lay people off, but if your game doesn't sell, then there's not really another solution. What I can't stand though is seeing good studios like id Software, who have consistently put out hit after hit for the last decade, unceremoniously gutted by Xbox. A company owned by Microsoft, who makes so much money they can purchase another publisher for $80 billion and make it look like a rounding error. Senator Bernie Sanders said exactly what needed to be said on this. Last year, Microsoft made $101 billion in profits, got a $12.5 billion tax break from Trump, and paid its CEO $96 million. This year, it's raising the price of an Xbox by $150 and eliminating 3,200 jobs. Please don't tell me corporate tax breaks create jobs. It never trickles down. Or how about ZeniMax Online, who just 2 years ago were proud of how well The Elder Scrolls Online was doing, reportedly bringing in $15 million a month in revenue and generating $2 billion over its lifetime. What was the reward for many of the people working on it? Layoffs. Business analysts will try to explain away why id Software or ZeniMax Online got gutted. They'll point at the 3% profit margin of the Xbox business, or how Game Pass didn't meet the outlandish goals of the company to have 100 million subscribers, or how Doom the Dark Ages didn't light the sales charts on fire like the previous games in the series did. But when the backdrop is a company with a CEO that makes $96 million a year, I'm sorry, but there's no explanation that's going to satisfy anyone beyond the ultra-capitalists that this was the only option Microsoft had left to make. It's no secret that the Xbox business as a whole did need a reset and a strategy change. I was pleasantly surprised that Ninja Theory and Undead Labs were sold rather than closed, and that Double Fine and Compulsion Games got to regain their independence. Even better was that all of these studios got the rights to their IP back, and none of their announced projects have been cancelled. I imagine Arcane will also find a buyer as well if their Blade game is up to snuff. These studios may still have to lay people off to account for the lack of Microsoft funding and the growth they experienced during the time with Xbox, but that's a better solution than closing the studios outright, which we've seen time and time again across the industry. id released a statement addressing the layoffs, noting that they're back to the team size they were when they made Doom 2016, and that they can still make great games despite what has been said about them by various sources online, including their own current and former team members. Whether it's damage control or not, we just have to wait and see what the impacts are over time. At this point, I don't really care to hypothesize too much about Xbox's strategy going forward. Only time will tell if the changes they're making will work out, or if this is yet another short-sighted slapdash mass layoff to make the books look a little cleaner for the end of the year results. For the studios that remain with Xbox now, well, they get to look forward to going through all of this again before the end of the year, as Microsoft plans to cut another 1,600 jobs from the organization. Because you know what really makes people want to work harder? Is knowing they have an axe hanging over their head.
This video is brought to you by PlayTracker, the app that tracks your cross-platform game library, achievements, stats, friend activity, and more. Lately, I've been pondering some of life's most difficult questions. Am I the person I want to be? What happens to our consciousness after we die? Do spiders have lungs? just how much of my existence has been spent replaying From Software games. Luckily, PlayTracker is here to help us answer at least one of those questions, earn some free games, and potentially win $250. Step 1. Join Second Wind's PlayTracker Guild at the link below. Step 2. Play games recommended by the Second Wind staff to earn points. Step 3. Use those points to redeem a free game. Step 4. Profit, like spiritually and monetarily. At the end of August, the person who has earned the most points will receive a $250 gift card to the game platform of their choice. Unite your gaming multiverse and be rewarded for it with PlayTracker today.